everybody. You get mic'd up, James, today because I have a lot less voice than I did 3 days ago. I hope you'll excuse us. This wrap-up has a little less polish and a little more YOLO than we have led you to expect from us. So I hope you'll bear with us. Thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it. Obviously, you know that this thing is a labor of love. This was for most of us, our first time writing. I always knew what it took, but I really don't think I ever truly internalized just how much work this thing is and just how crazy C-Tech is. So we'll try to get through it relatively quickly and with relatively little of us talking about how great we are. I hope you'll all appreciate that. Before I start, I wanted to give just a couple of quick sort of puzzle community announcements. One is, as many of you know, last year we tragically lost a couple of members of the puzzle and MIT community, Roger and Val Morash. They were a big part of this community, and there's now a scholarship set up in their name. If you want the link to it, I can get that for you. That would be a nice thing. The other sort of more positive thing is there are lots of puzzle hunts aside from Mystery Hunt. More than I can probably announce, but here in Boston, we have Baffle, which was started by some people on our team. And I'm told that Matt Kane has a Baffle coming up for us. And approximately in September, you can expect us to write Baffle 17, the search for Baffle 16. All right, I have some slides. I haven't seen them. Oh, yeah, all right, yeah. Here we go, getting to the meat of it. So obviously, we needed to figure out where we were going with this. So last year, while the hunt was still running, several of us got into a room and started writing down, like, what does the hunt mean to us? What's super important for us, and created these hunt values. The document that we have is a lot longer than this, but it was sort of our guiding principles to get through things. The first one is kind of a gimme. The second one is really, really important, is just make hunt fun. This was really helpful to us all through the year. There was never any chance for something to turn into sort of an ideological conversation about what someone believed the hunt was meant to be. It was always like, okay, but what are people going to enjoy? Which sort of guided us. Setting clear expectations, writing it not for us. We tried to set those clear expectations to kind of design a hunt for a specific range of team sizes, and then tell people that's what we were trying to do. I hope we at least vaguely succeeded at that. This is the very Grant line that hunt is more than just solving puzzles, and I hope our kickoff led you to realize that that's how we feel. We probably spent as much money or more money on UX and theme and the experience than on the puzzles, and I think that was the right call. Yeah? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm going to pause, because probably on the first slide I should have done this. Throughout this, I'm just going to be calling out individuals who are awesome, and if I ever don't, you guys can call me out and be like, James, stop it. But I'm going to start with just a few people. Michelle, stand up. Where I am the figurehead, Michelle is actually running this team. No one disagrees with that. Michelle has been my benevolent vice dictator, I believe is what we came up with, so that we could have that ambiguous vice. She's been running everything throughout the year while I was sort of focused on puzzles and vision and that stuff. Michelle actually made stuff happen, like all of those physical puzzles. So thank her. Henry and Hubert. Henry and Hubert. Where is Henry? He's hiding from us. Henry Wong has been our EIC editor-in-chief all year long. He is the reason that we have so many thematic answers, because that man will never pull away from Nutramatic. And when Henry's... Yes? Like that? You like that better? This is awkward. Am I supposed to put my hand like this also? Is that the... Oh yeah, we have a lot of Dick Point teapot for you guys. When Henry's wife gave birth, and also kudos to her for letting Henry out of the house even still, but Hubert stepped in and has done an excellent job. These two are the reason that, as far as I know, our only errata were a couple of birds and a lot of misspellings. So thanks to our EICs. Grant, stand up. Grant Elliott is a crazy person. I probably should have realized that in just about January and known what I was getting into. He is responsible for our UX and theme. He is responsible for this monstrosity of a kickoff and that monstrosity of a walk around and the monstrosity of everything else that happened this weekend. So huge props to Grant and his team. And Evan. Yeah, you knew this was coming. Don't even try that. Evan Broder ran our tech group, which the thing that excites me is that sometime back in, I think, August, September, we actually ran a fraction of the hunt for a bunch of people on our own team, and somehow we actually had tech working in August. So thank you, Evan. I'll call out all the others as we go. And get back to this slide. Yeah. So the hunt more than solving puzzles, that's where I got to Grant. Yes, I'm definitely back with myself now. Making every puzzle matter was kind of important to us. Obviously, this can change year to year, but as a new writing team, a lot of people on this team, the one puzzle they got into the hunt was their first puzzle. And we were not thrilled about the idea of a situation where someone skips it and back solves it. And as a degenerate back solver myself, I had a lot of mixed feelings, but I came to the conclusion that the author's work deserves to be seen, and that hopefully our puzzles were unbroken enough that wouldn't cause a problem. So we took great strides to make every puzzle matter with some super metas that were designed to take most of the puzzles to be hard to shortcut, hard to back solve, and with our hunt structure, which was a wild gamble with the choose your own adventure, which we'll talk about later, but the result of that is that there was no one round that only a few teams saw, that we were able to kind of get that distribution, and lots of different people got to pee in cups. Obviously, MIT Hunt, puzzles can be obscure, and subverting expectations, again, peeing in cups. Our general philosophy, after we had the values, our approach to this, we learned some things from CTech. We learned whenever you can get an interaction into the HQ and have more than 2 people see it, you should. That was an incredible logistical headache. I am so surprised we pulled that off, or didn't a little bit Friday afternoon, but we tried our best, and absurd production values. And then the one philosophy that we took in terms of length, because I know this is a thing that everybody will get on their soapbox about, is that we didn't have a desired length. We couldn't even predict the length of this thing. We had a pool that ranged from 9 a.m. Saturday to noon on Sunday, and therefore we were all wrong. What we did was we decided we were going to write fewer puzzles than any of the recent years, because we know that the hunt's been exploding a little bit. We were going to clearly communicate that to people, and then we actually discovered pretty early on that we were going to write even fewer than we thought we would. There was supposed to be a fifth island, and we decided pretty early that our metastructures were getting really complicated and really hard to write, and we wanted to make sure that our puzzles were good and more than plentiful, and so we cut it down even more, and thank God we did, because I don't think anyone would be done with the fifth island right now. I'm going to walk you pretty quickly through the hunt structure and story. Obviously, at kickoff, I hope you all believed our health and safety theme. The most credible fake out. And then you were introduced to the emotions. ACAST, you guys want to stand up for a sec? Our emotions. Most of these, they did an incredible job, and they and the rest of our cast, we had 2 full groups plus some improvers of people filling these positions. So B-cast, if you guys could also stand up. Anyone who went through our walk around can tell you just how involved that was. So think about the fact that we ran like 12 of those this weekend, and something like 47 emotional finales. So congrats to these guys. Lee May, do you wanna stand up for a second? Emily and Birdie, and where's Tucker? Is there a Tucker? Oh, Tucker's sick. So Tucker Elliott wrote all the scripts here. Birdie sort of ran the UX while Grant was off being a crazy person. Lee May led our costume design, and Emily was sets and props. Yeah. And Pentac did a lot of electrical work to make some things happen at the right times. I guess this is related more to later on, but the core memory orbs that you all got so excited about nearly killed Chris Post here. And then there's a huge pile of people that we can thank later who were in my apartment for the entirety of the past month, wiring up shelves of orbs. So you were introduced to the Inside Out theme at kickoff. Obviously, the memories were kicked out of headquarters, out of the control room, mind room. Yeah. Shows what I know. And the core memories were lost, and Commander Buzzy, which at least one person got, which was our threshold for success. One person got the joke. Buzzy is a reference to like a 20-year-old Disney ride that's out of commission. Introduce you to what you were going to do. You were going to get the emotions back, and you were going to recover the core memories, and you guys did that stupendously. So this is what you saw when you logged in. You probably all remember this. Obviously, at first, we wanted you to just believe that we have 5 colors of memories, but it got a little wild from there. This is what it looks like fully solved. One note here is a lesson we learned from game design, which was that literally any time any state changes during the game, it is reflected in the art. When something appears, it is reflected in the art. When something gets solved, you see changes in color. We hope that was helpful in demonstrating what we were going for. This art was Zach and Simone. Yeah. Who who you will be hearing a lot from this weekend. Simone sort of led our art team in keeping things together, and Zach did a lot of our art. So you'll hear his name a lot. You ran through the memories round. The memories round was designed to be sort of that intro round for those beginner teams and for everybody to sort of get their feet wet. 34 puzzles, some of them with mixed emotions, with 5 metas. And Henry was super insistent that we had exact parity and overlaps between emotions, which with anger and joy is very, very hard. So we wrote a lot of code to set that. And you solved those and got ways to bring them back into HQ. And as you got close to doing so, you cleared enough fog to find your first personality island, where, as Hubert describes it, you learned that we are not fucking around. The islands are a whole other beast. So we have a theoretical canonical order. Of course, we weren't going to tell you that. We wanted you to choose your own adventure. We set them in an order, in part with Pokemon first, because we thought that was the easiest one, and it is certainly the trolliest one. But also, so we set that one first because we thought that there was going to be what we refer to as the Vatican effect, which it turns out there wasn't. Actually, the most common first that we saw was people picking hacking secret, probably because we mentioned that on-campus component, and you guys thought, oh, it's Friday afternoon, let's get this out of the way while we're still here, because you didn't know that we're not fucking around. The other part to that canonical order, and you'll see this reflected in the art, is that it was supposed to sort of advance as Terry was aging. I hope everyone was. Did we? Yeah. Did we ever say the name out loud? Also. I think the miss was never said out loud. Okay. Yeah. So Terry was our character. I don't know if this was made perfectly clear. Terry Hunter, or to be more formal, Miss Terry Hunter. Yeah? I've been sitting on that pun for like 11 months now. So you got that growth through ages, through the age, obviously. She started young playing Pokemon, and there is a continuity issue that is going to drive Grant crazy. Apparently, that core memory of her playing Pokemon is on a DS, so... So I think the hunt is actually set in like 20 years from now. Pokemon Island, is Ryan here, or is he gone yet? Yes. So Ryan Veeder did the art for this island, and you will have recognized, yeah, it's gorgeous, right? When we started putting out calls for art for different things, he sort of as a joke posted a napkin scribble in the channel and said, "Got you for Pokemon." And then we said, "Hey Ryan, do you want to do some more art?" And then we just kept making him art over and over again. He helped do a lot of the game design and level design for TPMH and Under Control, and you can see that the art there actually matches a lot this style. And the scavenger hunts and the certificates after the scavenger hunts, we just kept making him draw Pokemon over and over. And like 2 days before the hunt, we decided we wanted to add little Pokeballs on the meta pages, and he did that in like 30 seconds. So that was Pokemon Island. I'm gonna try not to do too much spoilering. Obviously, this one was a little weird because when you would solve a puzzle, it would evolve. And you started by opening the island and seeing 3 hard puzzles to learn that we're not fucking around. And then you would solve Shoal Patrol. And then you'd get a little bit later in the island and learn that we really are fucking around. And some of our most loved puzzles were in here. We'll talk a little bit about TPMH and 326 in a minute, but running right through, Games Island was the next in age, and was also, we thought, super easy. Who knew? Also, I guess people really don't like jokes about Australian rules football. So Games Island was based off Catan. Zach did the art for this, yeah? Yeah, Zach did the art for this one as well. And stuck as many subtle references as he possibly could in. So the goal was to get to the center and find the core memory hidden away there. Sci-fi, that one we knew was going to be hard, actually. We saw that one coming. Was obviously very sci-fi, set on a board cube with each of the metas representing some different sci-fi property like Stargate, etc. Huge nerd collection up in here, and a fascinating meta structure that, again, I'm going to try not to spoil. Oh, actually, stepping back one sec, the people you want to talk to, obviously Ryan for the art, but Pokemon, well, it was theoretically my idea. Kevin and Hubert did most of the work. Kevin Wang, where's Kevin? Hey, Kevin designed like most of the puzzles in that round. And if anyone is either upset by having been made to pee in a cup or excited to learn about the science behind it, this gentleman is who you want to talk to. So Kevin and Hubert and I set the metas for this one. It was pretty heavily constrained, as you probably figured out. Games, the Brits are here. Julian, Will, and a couple of the others here did most of the work on this guy. Came up with this whole idea of Catan and that turning into something much bigger. So if you want to talk to them about that meta design, that would be great. Sci-fi was Grant and Henry's monstrosity. Yeah, I'm assuming you don't want to talk to them about that. And I think Leland also helped with setting a lot of the metas on that one. And finally, you got to Hacking Island. Again, Zach for the art. Oh, this art was Anna, right? All right, yeah. So several of them did the art on this one. But yeah, this is insane. I took 2 screenshots. It was pointed out to me for internal consistency that you never would have actually seen the left side as it is. Again, this is sort of our adding color to show state. Every time something was solved, you would get some state change. This was themed around setting a hack. Grant designed the super for this. The subs were Grant, and me and Broder. We knew that one was going to be hard too. And this was Terry's oldest memory, and then you would get to the Endgame. So these are actually 2 different pictures. I didn't do a good job putting this slide together. I realized after the fact. This is CTEC navigating Terry around, and this is one of our Terrys actually live walking around the hallways of MIT as they did this. So each time you would enter the correct set of commands, a message would go out to this person's handler who would tell them, like, step forward. And you would actually guide someone through MIT on an epic walk around with no legendary weapons. And eventually you found the coin, which was literally right outside the room you were in, because we think we're funny. So Terry would find the health and safety coin and win the health and safety hunt, which is what you were trying to do. And you, as a mind worker, would get a different coin, which is a new core memory of winning hunt. I have one here. I'm not going to hold it up because you're not going to be able to see it. I think we're happy to show those to people afterwards, and we have a whole big box of them from China for CTEC. What's that? Oh yeah, Curly. Where's Curly? Curly pulled that off. They arrived literally minutes before kickoff. there was a situation where like most of us are stressing out, getting ready to launch the hunt, get kickoff going, and like 3 people are driving around town trying to chase a FedEx truck down. So that was that core memory. I think, yeah, events and interactions. Obviously, we did try to do as many interactions as we could. Lots and lots of touches, human contact, so that you guys could do things with us. To the right is the interaction after you solved the sci-fi meta, in which you would go recover the core memory there. To the left was one of our events, when caution tape matters, or covering your ass with caution tape. Covering your ass. The events change names a lot of times. In which we made people become very stylish with caution tape. I'm told they were quite good. I wouldn't know. Yeah. And events and interactions is a good opportunity for me to talk about a couple other people. When I say I wouldn't know, it's not because I don't think events are important. It's because Wesley just did everything. Wes Craybill. We told him early on, like, make some events happen, make them fun, make them not too expensive, and he did, and everything went off without a hitch. Without a hitch, I assume. I actually don't know. This guy, you may or may not have been told or have guessed the original intention was to try to run this off the green building, but weather and misfortune got in our way, which is also why you saw our event schedule changing constantly. So we just ran it inside. The idea was that each person was given a code and a pixel, and they weren't told which pixel they were, and they had to figure out where they were and swap with other people and communicate and cooperate in order to design our health and safety logo. Sorry? Oh, we didn't even give them that instruction? They just decided that was the thing? Great. I'm told it was quite cool to watch as people sort of figured out a plan and pulled out a bunch of construction paper and associated themselves with colors. So that was one, and then Wesley really wanted me to get the balloons in here. We hope you really enjoyed this event. We certainly enjoyed afterwards answering the phones on helium. You may have found it funny, but boy did we find it funny. And we managed to get Sadness a new prop to walk around with for the rest of the weekend. Stats. People love stats. This is the kind of shit that y'all live for. Friday afternoon was a little off the hook for us. I got to tell you, we poured our hearts and souls into this thing, and we built it and we shaped it. And at about 1:08 p.m. On Friday the 12th, we lost control of the hunt, and we never got it back. So we just sort of fell on this emotional roller coaster ride all weekend long. Obviously, you all were killing it Friday afternoon with the emotions, and then you can see that right around Friday afternoon or Friday evening, you opened some islands and learned that we're not fucking around. And then we saw spikes again Saturday and a smaller spike Sunday. One important note was that we made this albeit questionable decision to keep HQ open until 10 a.m. today, and we were answering phone calls until 10 a.m. today. There were a lot of teams solving through the night and into this morning and finishing runarounds, which we're super excited about, and doing that grand finale. I guess not so much runarounds as walkarounds. We had 3 runarounds in hacking, but our main ones were after you finished emotions, you got what we called the fun around. We had a rule that it wasn't supposed to actually be puzzly or runaround like. It could only be fun. And again, you learned our propensity for trolling you as you all walked around campus with 8-foot sticks. And then you got your final walk around. So, of course, since we have never actually gotten to design a run around, we'll have to run another one of these hunts again in a couple of years. Most solved puzzles is slightly interesting. It's all in the first round. A lot of the ones that were early in the first round, and In Memoriam was solved early and solved often. We hope that these ones were solved, were well loved. 87 solves for one puzzle is pretty good for us, given that we had 100 teams registered. The largest difference in solve time is warm and fuzzy. Oh boy, that is a polarizing puzzle. It was the first puzzle solved in the hunt. Trendsetters got it like 10 minutes in. Oh, Waffle House. Sorry, Waffle House got it. Yeah. And it was one of the last puzzles solved in the hunt. We constantly would be going around and visiting teams who had closed out all of the emotions round and would be like, so what the fuck was up with Warm and Fuzzy? It's like, here's your first spoiler, guys. It's Beanie Babies. They're just. I never thought I would be the old one. So puzzles with the most incorrect answers, obviously. You can blame. Okay, I'll read these out. You can blame Mr. Grant Elliott for our puzzle very much with the most incorrect answer. The Blue Sun 6 Victor 4-178 Bravo 31 trace compression block. That was one of the metas in sci-fi. Most of this, to be honest, is Super Team Awesome just trying every Star Trek episode. That was pretty good. The second most incorrect answers was thanks. I think you all know what that was. Jeopardy got a lot. This was mostly things with clue phrases and sadness, because that was often the last one to fall in the emotions round. Or this, I postulate that it's because it was one of the last ones to fall in emotion round, and people were just guessing at that point. So those were some of the most incorrect. The most common incorrect answers, obviously. Everybody thought that a word search had the answer gonorrhea. If you don't know the last step, it was encrypted, and so you had to decrypt it to the answer. I have no idea why people call it incurrent angle. It might be something we never caught in testing. Yeah, well, the answer was Eric Angle. I guess everybody had a different idea of what his first name was. That's on Hubert. That guy. Perpetual, because it fit the meta requirements as you all tried to back solve. That was the 10,000 puzzle tester act that everybody back solved. I hope we got a forward solve. Did anyone forward solve it? It actually is a really cool puzzle. So if you didn't, yeah, woo! It's hard. It really is. But if you find yourself with a spare 24 hours one day, that's your thing. This is our operator test. The Raucous Rhinos obviously had trouble realizing the last step, and a lot of people spent a lot of time. The average time between culling and gonorrhea and necessary was 6.8 minutes, and the team that got the most gonorrhea was left out, who were just quite sure that we weren't able to answer the phone correctly. But we totally sympathize with you, because we called in Louis de Bourbon like 8 times a couple of years ago. The classic puzzles solved over time. We're going to try to make as many of these graphs available as possible at some point in the future. At some point in the future. It was neck and neck most of the weekend. Our big board, the top row of it would like flip every couple of hours. We had a whole new set of 5 teams that were in the lead, and things were changing constantly. We never had any idea what was happening. We made a top 10 teams by closeness to the leader graph. It's really hard to tell. We'll get you a closer look at it later. And this is when the metas fell. You can tell that we made this shitty Excel graph, or shitty Google Sheets graph, and then fixed it up in Microsoft Paint. Told you, a little less polished, a little more YOLO. And you can see which metas fell in which order. It was cool to see sort of different metas falling at different times. At some point yesterday morning, which is What's your question? Okay. At some point Sunday morning, when we were, afraid that everything was neck and neck, the 4 leading teams all had different remaining metas. So that was heartening for us. We've given some awards. The very best team was Holiday Hallmark Classics, who finished the first meta Pokemon at 9 a.m. Saturday. Yeah. And then somehow went on to give up that lead. So, congratulations. Rage was the first to finish. Sci-Fi. Left Out was the first to finish what was clearly our hardest meta, hacking. And to everybody's excitement, Left as an Exercise for the Reader was the first to finish games, and it was a lot of hours before anyone else got up to them. And now we're going to talk about TPMH. Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, Under Control was a puzzle in which, this is TPMH, but Under Control was a puzzle that we dreamt up also, I think, during the last mystery hunt while we were drunk at CBC, and we thought it would be a good idea to make you dance for our amusement. And then at some point we were realizing that making evolving puzzles was really, really hard. So someone was like, why don't we just backfill this one? And then Twitch Plays Mystery Hunt was born. Hubert and Fuzzy, where's Fuzzy? And Ryan made that thing. You guys killed, what, 2,486 ninjas this weekend. We had decided long before the hunt ever started that we would have an award for shittiest ninja that I think is Waffle House available? So you are receiving the shittiest ninja award, which of course is a plastic knife from our HQ. We had a running live stream all weekend in our HQ of anyone who was playing TPMH at the time, and a count of total deaths and number of seconds since last ninja fatality, which was always entertaining. Occam's depilatory gel, congratulations. Yeah. So they were only like 10 times better than Simmons. Sorry. I don't have anything to say. Except I do have a video of, I think this is Test Solution playing this. What? This is Waffle House? I don't know. It's somebody. And there's about 10 more minutes of what you're about to see here. Just over and over and over again. It just kept happening. So we thoroughly enjoyed that. And then of course by this point you had learned that both that we're not fucking around and that we really are fucking around. And you could probably have seen what was coming next, and you were told to send a team member to our HQ with 2 arms and 2 legs and no mobility issues. And in most cases, we tried to intervene with the teams we knew to convince them to send a particular person that we wanted to see dance. So we had a live stream of this going all weekend as well, so that we could watch that. But one of our favorites, I think, is Twitch Plays Zaz.
Right. Step right. Right.
Is there sound? No?
Switch 9. Right. 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 Stop. Hyzes. Stop. Left. Too far. Left. Left. Left a little. Left. Hammer time. Left. Stop. Yes. Good. Your other right. Right. Right half step. Only listen to Galen.
I don't remember how much more of this there is, but there was...
Jump. Right half meter.
Yeah. So there was a good 40 minutes of Zaz dancing for our amusement. So we really appreciate you guys making the hunt for us as well. 12 teams finished the hunt. Congratulations. Despite somehow being a monstrosity we couldn't predict, it turns out we made a good call leaving HQ open until 10 a.m. Monday so that this many teams could get through. Congratulations to all of you guys. And obviously, the C-Tech found the coin. I don't know what to say about that. 51 teams finished the emotions. This, of course, is far and away our proudest achievement, including one team that was solving off campus but had a team member out in the burbs who biked to campus so that they could actually meet Joy. Oh, yeah, it was cold. Some behind-the-scenes stuff real quick, because I've always found this interesting. When I've been at wrap-ups, this was our HQ. This was Lee May running the show. We still have our How and Sir moving vests that I hope those of you that know about the Caltech Cannonball. There are a lot of us, as I think you can tell. We needed every single one of them. This was, like I said, it was a little out of our control. What you were seeing as, I hope, a reasonably well-run hunt, to us felt like one continuous tire fire. We, for better or for worse, put out a ton of physical puzzles and a ton of interactions, and had you guys coming to us constantly and us coming to you. And we were thinking about it at about 4 a.m., today when there were 4 of us running the entire HQ, and there were 9 people running the emotional finale, or the Endgame finale, and 4 more running orbs. So we put a lot of energy into that. I'm really glad that we have this great team that we do. Everybody working long shifts to pull that off. Some interesting lessons we learned. The decision to go choose your own adventure has a lot of fascinating implications. I could go on at length about it, but I'll tell you about two things that were interesting to me. One was that it creates a huge logistical headache in that as soon as people start unlocking islands, they have everything. And so every physical puzzle is running and every interaction is running, and we are doing all of the things at once. And that got to be a little crazy and was really hard for us to manage. On the other hand, the fact that you guys were solving metas in different orders gave us a lot of peace of mind that they were actually solvable. Because if we'd been running in a normal order and we'd gotten to Saturday night and no one had even started on the hacking super meta, we would have been terrified. Fortunately, by that point, we had seen one solve of everything, and so that was really nice for us because what it meant was that we didn't actually pull any levers. Aside from we had a little kerfuffle right at the beginning of the hunt where we had to fix something regarding brain power. We didn't change our speed at all. We didn't mess with unlock structures. We were doing some trailing tide stuff for the smaller teams, but we just sort of sat and watched, and this monstrosity unfolded, and we were able to do that largely because we weren't scared out of our minds that nobody was going to finish. The crazy overcommitment to these ridiculous tasks led to a nightmarish HQ, but we hope an amazing experience for all of you. Our Endgame, I got to watch one of those. That was a beautiful thing. When you're deploying things on campus, make sure that the status is easy to check. If you have to send 6 people out every 30 minutes to determine if your radios are still working, that becomes very, very hard when everybody is asleep. So that was just a fun lesson to learn, and of course, CTech. Some quick thanks. Google Cloud Platform gave us the hosting, and Garment District gave us a lot of in-kind donations, allowing our costumes to happen. And of course, our prime sponsor was Stripe, who covered most of this. I don't know if everyone realizes this, but running a hunt is really expensive. And so Stripe made it such that we weren't spending the year begging for money and trying to make this whole thing happen. Although in a minute we're about to beg you for some money because we spent all of it. So you can thank them. Finally, I think this is I want to thank you guys. Death and Mayhem, everybody. This was us right after the end of last year, so it does not include everybody because most of them were asleep. Otherwise, they would have warned us away from picking up that coin. But these guys did an awesome job this year. It takes an extraordinary amount of effort to get 2 clean test solves on every puzzle, including the 10,000 puzzle tester hacked. And they did it. We pulled that off on everything, and fact checking and writing ridiculous things and producing an incredible amount of physical puzzles. So I wanted to thank you guys all. The last thing is going to be I have a little video for you, but a couple quick announcements. One, we are going to beg you for your money. We made a bunch of extra T-shirts because we heard that's the thing that people are interested in. After the wrap-up, if you guys want to buy some T-shirts off of us, that's what we're here for. We're also auctioning off some of our gear because I don't want it. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, that's first, yeah? Okay, yeah. So that's not cool. Why don't you know?
All right, fine. Get back up here, Jamothy. All right, so this hunt would not be possible without our very own James. First of all, he is our fearless leader. He did everything. Even though he says we did everything, he did everything. But the actual announcements are that first we are doing the reception. We have pizza outside for you, sponsored, of course, by Stripe. And we have t-shirts for sale, and we have a bunch of extra props and things if you guys want to take stuff home.
Don't let them come home with me.
All proceeds go to this and future mystery hunts.
So again, thank you all for coming. As we break, I'm going to leave you with one parting thing, which is the video that you saw on screen, very, very carefully timed during the kickoff, was actually shot back in September. Our costume team had 2 copies of outfits for me to wear so that I could match, and ensured that my hair was cut in exactly the same way, and I had the same shoes as I came out here on Friday. During that shoot in September, Tucker wanted everything to be perfect, and so he made me do things over and over again, like eating a lot of bananas. And so when they told me to give them some filler text as we shot some scenes, I talked about my feelings on bananas.
What you may not know about me is that I really like fruit. I like all sorts of fruits. I like apples, I like kumquats, I like passion fruit. Grapefruit's kind of okay. Oranges, grew up in Florida, not really my thing. But what I really hate, thank you Michelle, is bananas. Bananas are kind of actually the worst fucking fruit. You would know this if you'd eaten 6 bananas today.
So thanks for coming. Pizza's in the lobby. Is the pizza ready? All right, pizza's in the lobby.